Okay, everybody knows that Judge Torres ruled against XRP and the SEC finally moving on from all of this court case. But what I'm about to share with you in this video may give you a reason why. And in fact, it's pretty shocking, and it was never going to be any other decision than what's come out, and there's a very good reason for it, none of which you are going to like. So do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We break down all the cryptocurrency markets every single day here so that you are absolutely in prime position to make your portfolio grow as big as it needs to. So with that being said, let's get into the video. So obviously most people will know now, especially if you're an XRP holder, that, well, Judge Torres ruled against the decision from the SEC and Ripple to basically move on, that they just can move the 75 million and everyone just goes about their day. And in fact, she said that no one is above the law. You can't overrule a court's decision and therefore it has to move on. That has not changed and neither party is arguing otherwise. I think it's important to reference. But it says here, another surprising decision from Judge Torres in the Ripple SEC case. XRP legal director makes a statement. The ball is now in our court. And this directly relates to whether the Ripple do just pay the fine, 125 million, or whether they go after the SEC. So I don't want to go too much through this. I want to kind of walk through, I guess, why this decision was made and ultimately, therefore, what comes next. And we have to cast our minds back all the way to 2028, and in specifically Jay Clayton. Now, Jay Clayton used to be the SEC chairman, and in fact, on his last day as the SEC chairman, he absolutely triggered the Ripple battle with a $50 billion cryptocurrency sell-off. He was one that mainly orchestrated this whole XRP nonsense right from the very start. You can see here it says Jay Clayton, the chairman of the US Securities Exchange Commission, submitted his resignation to President Trump after spending more than 3 years at the SEC's head. Clayton's last day at the office cost the crypto market more than $50 billion as his latest action against Ripple triggered a massive sell-off in the XRP, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. So I understand why you may be curious. You're like, hold on a minute, yep, this guy crashed the markets as well as basically was the individual that went after XRP. Well, it turns out that he was appointed to basically be the SDNY, or the Southern District of New York's US attorney, previously filed the SEC's lawsuit against Ripple. Okay, so that's where he sits. That's ultimately now his decision. This was obviously made 2025 in April. Okay, the last piece of the puzzle. Judge Annalisa Torres is a United States District Judge of the United States District for the Southern District of New York. Basically, Jay Clayton is Judge Annalisa Torres's boss. This was never going to go any other way. So when you start to kind of put these bits together, you say, okay, Jay Clayton originally filed the lawsuit and the court case against XRP. He then triggered a $50 billion sell-off in the crypto markets. He's now the attorney for the New York Southern District, and Judge Annalisa Torres is basically a district judge and works for him. I mean, we were kind of screwed from the beginning when it came to this, didn't it? So I'm not surprised that this has played out exactly as it would, even though the SEC is way more optimistic on digital assets, way more bullish on how digital assets move forward. And more importantly, you've got the SEC that just wants to get rid of it and move on. This will ultimately just mean more people get paid, more taxpayer dollars gets used, maybe some more fines coming, who knows. I personally think that this individual wants 125 million of Ripple because that's the only way he gets recompense from that original filing. Very, very dishonest. And I think everyone and their nan just wants to move on from this. But anyway, let me know what you think about all of that in the comments. It isn't all bad news though, all right? It isn't all bad news when it comes to Ripple. They continue to work hard. They continue to partner up. And this one is as good as they get. They're partnering now with Wormhole. Now, many of you may have seen these from tokens over on Dex Tools or many others, but the Wormhole partnership ultimately to XRPL gets multi-chain interoperability boost. Great news. Ask yourself why. Well, Ripple announced the groundbreaking partnership with Wormhole, the cross-chain messaging protocol, to enable seamless interoperability between the XRPL and over 30 leading blockchains. The collaboration comes at a pivotal time as Ripple expands its functionality of its ecosystem with the upcoming XRP EVL, which I think is really, really important. Now, what else it supports, by the way, is for decentralized applications, multi-chain liquidity, and browser and broader Web3 usage in line with, you guessed it, global payments, Web3, and financial markets. All of which, once again, seems to be playing up very interestingly, and another strategic move, if you ask me, from Ripple. So in one hand, we get the disappointing announcement from Annalisa Torres. However, when you think about what I talked about in this video, not surprising. And then you get Wormhole, the biggest, or probably one of the biggest interoperable units that we have. Very bullish indeed. Now, we know the market's been a disaster. We know the altcoin market tended to be an absolute pantser. Trump announced the fact that he has a trade deal with China. The market dumped. Who the hell knows what's going on right now in this crypto market? It is wild. What we do know, though, is that institutional money is flowing in. Strategic positions are being played. And in my opinion, there is a ton left in this market. And I think we're going to see some big things coming out of XRP. So let me know what you think of all of that in the comments down below. I am dead curious to think what you think about the whole SEC, Judge Torres, and that 50 billion sell-off. Let me know in the comments. And until next time, thanks so much. And we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.